This is the Rocklin Hacker Lab, where I rent co-working space. We are currently under a pretty heavy restriction in terms of like only people that actually rent, like me, are allowed in here, or people that are volunteering to help me with our process. So, just to give you an idea, like right now we're kind of wrapping up from all of the stuff that's been shipped us today. So these, everybody's kind of focused on the final boxing and stuff, but you can see there's boxes everywhere, and I'll show you the 3D printing farm in a second. But maybe I can have Ian here help us like give you a sense of like what happens when things come in.
Yeah.
So when the mail guy gets here, the FedEx guy, the UPS guy gets here, there's somebody going to be that is stationed here that logs everything, like I mentioned to you, and then it's kind of indexed here. So we try to keep. We're very data-driven people. We try to keep information as best we can to document the process. Part of what we're trying to do too is create a model here so that we can stand up a similar place in other parts of the country potentially that have the means of doing this. But it comes in, and we have some carts and stuff we bring around. Most of them are over there now. But this is kind of the beginning of our wash process. So these are all kind of bags and things. So when people ship them to us, we've asked that they already put them in a bag and kind of label what they are. But again, we still treat everything very seriously, like it's potentially infected. And so it'll start by going into a detergent bath. And the purpose of that is to basically rinse off any oils and stuff from the 3D printing process and allow the bleach solution that it's not bleach solution, it's a chlorine solution, excuse me, to work. And so it starts with detergent soap, and then this is a rinse. So this is just kind of a water rinse to get the soap and stuff off. And then this is the most important part. This is the mixture of sodium hypochlorite, and the details of that, like I said, can be found on my website. We have to pH test it the way you might like a swimming pool to get a sense that we have our mixture right. And it has to dwell in the vat for up 20 minutes or longer, and that's a really important part of the disinfection process. So after these things have been already sitting in this bath for a while, so Ian's taking them out, and then we do a final rinse here, and this is basically just to kind of clean everything off. And he's going to take the rest of this stuff here, and I'll show you, and then we take him over to these little drying stations that we kind of fabricated.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do some, can you hold the foam pretty close to his hand so we could just get some shot, like some nice close-up shots? Yeah.
Get some B-roll? Yeah, sure.
B-roll, and then you can just,
Yeah, sure. You want to do, why don't you, well, again, just take them and move them from there into this bin. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to take them over to the drying station. And this is where it's funny because I think as a maker, I'm kind of proud of what we've done. This is all stuff that we've kind of come up with to work with what we have. So we took some wire shelving. I'm going to talk because there's fans obviously here blowing on stuff. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our shop fans that we use in other parts of the shop, and then we got some wire rack. And then Ian basically came up with this little clever way of just positioning all of these little frames so that they can get the best airflow through them. And how long would you say it takes to dry?
I'd say about 20, 25 minutes.
It takes about 25 minutes, but it's nice because we have these giant fans, and so we can basically go in these cycles. And we've got a lot of process and efficiency people that have helped kind of develop the process so that we can really ramp this thing up. So like we said, maybe we're doing 100 yesterday, 200 today, but we are prepared for the next 500, 1,000, and we have the ability to replicate. We have the space to replicate multiple stations of this. So this is just one line of what'll probably be 3 or 4 lines. But you can see when I say ragtag, I mean we're dealing with we just grabbed some tables and some bins from Home Depot. By the way, Home Depot, shout out to them. We just went down there and showed them the mask we were making, and they said, "What do you need?" and just gave us stuff. That's the local Roseville. But no questions asked. We didn't have to fill out any paperwork or anything. They literally just said, "Take what you need," and it was. I was surprised, honestly. But like I said, a lot of companies and people stepping up, and that's really giving us the ability to do a ton of these. So, anyway, should we move on to what we do to package? Okay.
That'd be amazing.
Okay, so there's 2 parts of the process, right? So well, we didn't want to be sitting around just twiddling our thumbs waiting for stuff to get to us. And I know a lot of people are excited about 3D printing and how that plays a role in the story. So we do 3D printing for various projects and stuff all the time. And this is kind of a hodgepodge of just people's. That's Joshua. Shout out to him. He's our manager of all of this. People have been showing up with their 3D printers that don't have the ability or time or whatever at home, and they've basically just said, hey, yeah, you can run them there and use them for what you want. So these are the chin reinforcement clips for the mask, and we've got just all kinds of hodgepodge. So our print farm is by no means a uniform streamlined machine yet, but by taking the time to get these things going and not waiting around, like we can have stuff going out the door. But like I said, it's not a fast process, and so everything that we make here, we also have to run through the disinfection process, and then it comes over to kind of our pack and ship. And these all my volunteers here are very much part of the maker world, where they wear a lot of different hats. And so like Randall here is an amazing laser cutting operator. And he's been kind of spearheading, like cutting all of the face shields and stuff. And now he's cleaning them off and getting them ready. And you can see like here's the I guess the final product. We got our sweet hashtag on there. And that's actually, it's funny because it's an important part of what we do, because the social media has really driven the response for us. And so when people start seeing that and seeing our stuff out in, being used in ERs and stuff like that, it motivates them to get involved too. And that really feeds the manufacturing product, since we're crowdsourcing, right? And so every day I get pictures from people that, are sending me a picture of a box of 100 that they've made. And they're like, I'm boxing it up and sending it now. So I don't actually know how much of this stuff I'm going to end up getting, but I can tell you it's working, because I can tell you stuff is showing up, and it's awesome. So we're just cutting elastic. We bought out like as much elastic as we could from the local Joann fabric stores.
I think we actually bought out Joann fabric for like most of the
area. And then for what we didn't buy, a lot of people in the community have like bought this buttonhole elastic that's used. I'm not wearing gloves, so I'm not going to touch it, but
thank you.
But basically all it is an elastic strap with buttonholes in it, and it's a really elegant design that makes it easily adjustable, and it can be laundered and stuff. The design was meant to be a single-use thing, but we don't have that luxury, unfortunately, right now. And so we're trying to be mindful of when it's received by the frontline workers, like what they end up having to do. Sorry, this isn't like the most effective way, but you can see like when we box them up, we have to do a bag liner, and we have a checklist, and then we do them in kits of 10. So we do 9 of the pieces, and then we put one assembled demo on top with an instruction list of what the process is. And it really only takes like 10 seconds to put it together. It's just snap the frame on. I don't know, you saw how I did it earlier.
Yeah.
Snap the frame on, there's a little chin strap, and put the thing on, and you're good to go.